welcome everyone to today's panel on building everyday engagement, turning fans into active participants through interactive formats. For decades, sport has relied on episodic engagement, big matches, big moments, big campaigns. But today's fans live in a world of daily digital habits, personalized feeds, and constant interactivity.
David?
The brands and rights holders who win...
Lucas, we can't hear you from here.
Hard to listen to you.
You can't hear me?
Yeah.
Your voice is not audible.
Yeah, well, hold on. He's got it. He's working the wedges now.
Yeah.
I can hear me. You can't hear me? Can you hear me in the room?
Yeah,
they
hear
can.
You. It's
They
just
can?
difficult for us from the wedges.
Okay. You'll just have to manage, I think. I'll cue you, don't worry. Over the next 50 minutes, our discussion will explore what everyday engagement actually means, which formats genuinely shift behavior, how you turn daily interactions into real commercial value, and what innovations like AI, chat-based content, gamification in venue experiences, and augmented reality will shape the next era of fan participation. So let me just first introduce our fantastic panel who spend their lives trying to understand and activate fans at scale. Soren West is the Chief Executive of the MENA region for TAIT, where he leads regional strategy, client partnerships, and the growth of large-scale immersive entertainment experiences. With over 25 years in global live production, from concerts and broadcasts to major ceremonies, he brings a blend of creative vision and operational excellence that has shaped some of the industry's most high-impact projects. Richa Singh is the co-founder of Spectatr AI, a Series B funded sports technology company backed by leading investors, including Sequoia. Spectatr AI recently won Sports Tech of the Year 2025 at the Sports Business Awards in London. A former national level athlete turned entrepreneur, Richa combines sports insights with business leadership to drive Spectatr AI's growth across leagues, federations, and broadcasters worldwide. She leads global strategy, partnerships, and execution, advancing the company's mission to transform real-time highlights, fan engagement, and AI-powered content distribution for the sports industry. Sadi is the CEO of LiveScore Group, a seasoned executive with an extensive 25-year career in leadership roles within the sports media and adjacent industries. As the current CEO of LiveScore Group since 2019, he has played a pivotal role in the company's impressive growth, positioning the company as one of the leaders in sports media and fan engagement. Tom Mueller is a Hansa Rostock fan and a member of the management board at OneFootball, the world's largest football platform. He oversees the global advertising business, which accounts for 85% of the company's revenue. He says that hyper-personalized user experiences and state-of-the-art technology are fundamental to OneFootball's global scale, ongoing success, and the basis for OneFootball's big ambitions. And finally, Mo Harb is the head of partnerships at TikTok MENA, leading ecosystem growth across publishers, broadcasters, and partners with a focus on sports, TV, and film. With over 20 years in media technology, digital transformation, and partnerships, he's played a key role in shaping modern content ecosystems.
Thank you.
So it's great to have you all with us. Let's get into it. So if I could ask first, maybe starting with Mo at the end and coming down this way, what do we actually mean by everyday engagement, and how does this differ from traditional fan engagement? Is there a risk of over-engaging fans? And how do brands ensure interactions are authentic and meaningful rather than just overwhelming?
So let's start with the mission and vision of TikTok. It's to inspire creativity and bring joy. And we've been trying to stick to it since the inception of the whole platform. And from that moment on, we're trying to enrich that user experience on the platform with content that they may not be seeing on a broadcaster or a streaming platform. The fan engagement is super important for us to the level that we complement even the broadcasters and the rights holders, because fans want to see on our platform something they don't see within, let's talk football, within the 90 minutes or on the pitch. They want to be closer to their favorite athletes, favorite players. They want to see what's happening backstage, behind the scenes, in the tunnel, on the sidelines. And as long as I can help whoever has the rights for this content to exist on my platform and deliver it back to the users, that's where like that engagement increases, and that's where we elevate that experience of the fan rather than jeopardizing any rights or over sharing action highlights and all of that. Fans of football specifically are too demanding, and the closer we can bring them to their favorite entities, players, the more they are like attached to the game that we all love, which is the game of football.
There's a lot I can relate to that. And by the way, it's a great question because it touches the DNA of OneFootball. OneFootball at its core is a hyper-personalized product for the most emotional thing in the world beyond human relationships, football, right? And we do only football. That's the difference to my colleague Mo and Sam here, because they do more than just football. We do only football. I'm a Bayern Munich fan. I like Hansa Rostock, which is a third league club, not very successful. I like the German national team. I like the Italian national team because my mother is half Italian. And I use my phone in German language. Sam, who sits next to me, he secretly told me he uses OneFootball every now and then. I'm not sure if it's okay to say it here. But Sam follows Besiktas Istanbul. I hope I'm right with that. He follows the Turkish national team, the UK national team, and potentially Arsenal, and using his phone in English language. So the two versions of OneFootball for us are completely different, right? And that is only the status quo. The status quo makes us, according to others, the world's largest football media platform. We reach about 645 million fans on a monthly basis across our ecosystem. And it makes Apple recommending OneFootball when people go into the App Store searching for football. What we will do in the future is exciting and beyond personalization around clubs, player, federation. Imagine there is someone who's a statistic nerd and only wants statistic news. And we will provide them with a video with all the relevant information on the Monday morning when this person commutes to work, because we know in that time he wants this information. Imagine there is someone who is a philosopher and he likes comics. We will provide this user, when this user is interested about, with the pre-match analysis via comics and philosophical language. I'm a relatively busy person. Unfortunately, I have not enough time to consume football. So I need a very condensed information for my personal interest, which I'm not interested in the whole league. I'm not interested in the entire football world. I want Bayern Munich, Hansa Rostock, and maybe Serie A content. We just close a deal with Serie A. That's what I want, and that's what we will do in the future. Quite exciting. Stay tuned.
First of all, I'd like to know if I get a fee from you from having used my image now. Yes.
Let's talk about it.
So I'll take the lead from our panelists about, first, stating the vision. LiveScore's vision is to fuel fans' passion for sport. And to answer your question, it's important for a company like us to understand what our job is. So you were asking, how do you create this interactivity without overwhelming? It needs to be demand-driven. So we need to understand our job. What does the fan want us to do? What kind of job does the fan ask us to deliver for them? So if they're driven more about stats, analytics, we need to supply that, what is being requested. And we need to be constantly scrutinizing and understanding the data and delivering the product they need. Lately, our fans, our users have been asking a lot more, social content that is not on our product, but that is accessible on different platforms. And that actually resulted in a global strategic partnership with X, where we're ingesting their content and delivering their content to our fans globally. And that product is going to start surfacing from January onwards. So to keep it short, we have a job to do. We've been doing it for 27 years. We sit between the sport and the fan, and we constantly look to understand how do fans want that passion to be fueled, and we respond to that demand.
I don't have much to add. Both the prior details on what the fan engagement on everyday look like happens to be also our vision that it has to be hyper-personalized, real-time generated for just me in the format, in the kind I like, else I am not giving, a fan is not giving any attention. Attention is very expensive, so we build that technology that understands the fan on the run, generates content. It could be the article, it could be creating a highlight, it could be creating a highlight in Japanese, etc., and deliver to the fans. So hyper-personalization, as I spoke, is the future made just for me, and that is what we enable at Spectatr.
Richa, you said, how did you put it? Attention is very expensive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what you get the money for anymore, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate all that you've said to this question of fan engagement, and I think the quick answer to can you over-engage them, or if that engagement is not authentic or connective in a personal way, it's just more noise. And to your point, I think it's our job to not be part of the noise. TAIT is an entertainment and fan engagement company. We develop and deploy the most advanced technology that enables the most sophisticated spectacle and guest experience on the day, in the venue. TAIT specializes in entertainment technology that enables the spectacle and it becomes part of the venue. We offer a highly flexible infrastructure to stadiums, arenas, theaters, opera houses as well. And really ours is a platform that can reduce friction for the consumer. And I think there are so many points of friction in one's experience of getting to and attending and navigating one's way through a sporting event. And our platform creates many opportunities to reduce that friction, increase revenues, and increase hyper-personalized engagement. And quite frankly, while we've spent the last 50 years developing this platform that can communicate and coordinate, we can listen to any digital language and speak back to control signage, lighting, audio, video, special effects, and all of this to maximize spectacle and safety. But the future for us and where our investment is creating the platform and this infrastructure for the venue that really learns from all of you. You're in touch with the consumer. You're building and designing and contributing to their experience before and after the game. And I think we can work together to make the venue a character in the guest experience of attending the game. And that's the fun we have ahead of us.
David, if I may, there were two more parts of the questions. One was the risk. I would like to touch on that for a few seconds. For us, there's a super high risk of over-engagement. I'll give you a very concrete example. One of our most valuable assets at OneFootball is that 9 out of 10 users allow us to send them push notification, which is a powerful tool because it gives us access to your locked phone in your pocket, also to Sam's pocket. And this is a driver for engagement through personalization, because coming back to Sam, sorry for that, but if he receives a message from Besiktas, there's a very high likelihood that he will open the push notification, right? Because it matters to him. For us, and I'm responsible for the global advertising business amongst other things, I would want to send way more push notifications because it means more engagement, and more engagement means more money. Very, very simple. So we have a heated debate with our editorial team. How many pushes can we send to people? At the moment, we send 4.5 on an average. Depends on match day, non-match day. But there is a risk if I send 2 or 3 more messages to Sam and he decided to opt out, then we turn a high engaged user into a low engaged user, and it's almost irreversible, right? Which means I make less money. So there is definitely a risk, and we have an ongoing discussion on how much engagement can we drive through sending push notification, to give you a very concrete example to that question.
Sure. Mo, is that quite a different situation for TikTok? I mean, do you have concerns about the amount of content you're pushing, or is it controlled by the user and they just consume as much as they want to consume?
I'll go back to what Soren mentioned about them building the platform that's for the venue, right? And they are looking for how to distribute that content or that great spectacle coming out of that show, let's call it, on different platforms. What TikTok would be doing is, for example, and is partnering with TAIT, for example, to take that content and distribute it as an experience for the users around the world. We are not like the venue experts. We are not the football experts like OneFootball or LiveScore. But I take their content, I help them grow on my platform. That's one. 2, I help the users, the fans, to find them on my platform. And 3, to enrich the overall experience. This is why, for example, we had launched globally something we're calling it Game Plan. And different to any other platform in the same industry of TikTok, this Game Plan product takes, for example, the scores from LiveScore or the rights from the IP owner, say the Saudi Pro League, and helps the broadcaster to actually get their subscribers all in one place and take all that traffic and all that fan interest and drive it back to the platforms that we're working with, whether an IP owner, whether for the scores like LiveScore, or whether for the experiences like TAIT. And all that beautiful content is not ours. It's the right of the IP owner, it's the rights holders, but we're helping them connecting with a wider audience and driving more fans to be attached to their assets. OneFootball, again, is an example to LiveScore, because let's talk about an API that will read the scores on my platform. It's not mine, and I'm not in the business of getting that traffic for the stay duration, let's say, of the fan on TikTok, not going somewhere else to find the experience. I'm actually giving him the experience as a fan to go check LiveScore, or to go check OneFootball for their great content, or to go check the Saudi Pro League for the gem of content that they have with all the big assets that they are owning, one of the best leagues in the world. Let them see something beyond the goals, the action highlights, beyond the 90 minutes. I'll be empowering them and enabling the fan to discover them on my platform.
I love the notion of partnering with TikTok to bring content to life in the venue. One of the oldest forms of fan engagement at a sporting event is dance cam, or the kiss cam, where you're capturing audience members out in the stadium or the arena and featuring them on the screen. Everybody likes to see themselves.
And that one specifically, it's a great example. That cam is being seen not on a broadcast feed or only in the stadium, let's say. So how about TikTok bringing that to the people who are, you can fit in, let's say, 80,000 fans in one stadium. What about the other fans that are like watching the match, millions and millions depending on the sports? Yeah. Let me bring those fans to experience what's happening in there via partners like yourself or other partners, and let me also promote your own business and what you can enrich their lives by finding you on my platform. This is how it goes, like 3 ways, sort of complementing each other, rather than me owning any of that fantastic asset that you have. I'll just be the platform to distribute it and to bring in fans more to you and enrich their user experience.
Yeah. We can put your content on the screen in the venue in a way that's hyper-personalized to those in the room, and we too can bring the spectacle in the venue out to your consumers.
I think, David, your last part, I'm German, so we used to like to follow structures. Your last part of the question was the brand perspective, right? And if you also want to give one last concrete example, and I'm done with the sales pitch. The concrete example was Crypto.com. They came to us, approached us, and said, how can we activate their partnership with the Champions League? And the first message we gave them was not very pleasant for them, because we told them no one is a fan of the Champions League. And they looked a little bit weird of us and said, hey, we don't get it. It's a big tournament. We said, yes, it is a big tournament, but people are a fan of Manchester City and Bayern Munich and Barcelona and whatnot, a team which plays in the Champions League, but not necessarily a fan of the Champions League itself. So what we did is then we built a super personalized, customized funnel for Crypto.com along every single participating team of the Champions League, including customized landing pages for Crypto.com. And the result was the best performance campaign they ever had, just to finish off on the last part of your question.
Okay, good. Let's move on. So let me ask you which technologies, for example, AI, augmented reality, chat-based content, fantasy games, in-venue experience, are most likely to drive the next wave of fan participation? And how should these technologies be deployed to personalize experiences at scale without being intrusive?
I think
anybody.
I think Richa is the expert. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we work in digital space, and that is 99% of the viewing. Any match, for example, that happened in Bernabeu, 1% people watch it in stadium. 99% watch it on their mobile screens across the world. We operate in this 99% viewing, and so I'll talk about technologies that are most relevant to this space. So in-event, in-venue could be different, but we work on the digital side. On digital side, I'll just pick one because we'll go through the panel. So if I had to pick one, I would guess this is AI agents that will make all the difference, because everything we had been speaking of, that there are fans and every fan need to be understood in real time exactly what I like, and I want to see an advertisement of, say, Coca-Cola with Ronaldo in pink color, etc. Creating it on the fly, because today this fan is in the pink mood. Creating it on the fly is generative AI. Understanding it on the fly is what AI agent does. All the time they are taking your data and then analyzing who exactly you are today. And this is not about asking what color you like, do you like Ronaldo? No, all that is yesterday, it's gone. You understand on the fly from the user behavior, generate content for the user behavior. Where do you generate from? You generate from the content repository that the leagues have, or the clubs have, or the broadcasters have. They have videos, they have photos, they have statistics, they have long form article, they have short form article. All of it, this agent is reading at the same time. You can imagine it to be like the GPT of sports. Like when you go to OpenAI, GPT or Gemini, and you ask something, it takes the entire internet, recreates that answer. You can say, I want a puppy flying in the air. Takes the entire internet, understands what you want, and creates that picture and serves it to you. So agents do that. So AI agents for sports that will take all the content, create on the fly in a hyper-personalized fashion, and deliver it by understanding who wants what. This is AI agent. I think this will cause a paradigm shift, just the way it has caused a paradigm shift in the generic industry of Google versus Gemini or OpenAI. All of us have moved from Google, where we were served pretty much the same answers, to Gemini, where it exactly understands my mood and style and creates. So the same shift will come in sports, in digital consumption or digital delivery of content, is my view.
I think we'll probably give very similar answers to what's the most promising technology in our business. And obviously, I want to focus on the generative part of Gen AI. I think there's a lot of times we misuse the term as we used to use it, which was more about machine learning and algorithms to decide what to show to the customer with an aim to ultra-personalize it, go to the individual and see if we can predict what that individual wants to see and try to steer them towards that kind of content. But with generative AI, we can actually take that behavior and generate on the fly based on that behavior of that individual. So what's happening is if 5 years ago I went to my teams and I said, we're reaching 100 million users, they should all get a different version of LiveScore. So even if you're a Man City fan, if you're in Lagos or you're in Jakarta, you should have very different versions of the app. That would have been feasible. But now I'm telling them, every individual in every city should get a different version of the app in the tone that they want to be spoken to, in the way they want to engage. And that's what generative AI allows us to do at scale and, most importantly, economically. Like, it could have been done before, but it would have cost a fortune. And now this is starting to become possible. So, the ceiling where we can take our products and delivering them to each individual in a different way, in a personalized way, is incredible now. And it's a very exciting time. And it's almost defensive. If we don't do it, somebody in their college dorm with 3 programmers are going to be able to do it and unseat us from our comfortable positions we've been so far for many years. I'm pretty sure my peers will agree with that.
Fully agree to that. What I would add to that is that the opportunities we have with generative AI at scale are immense. It's crazy. I think no one in this room can imagine what this will bring to our lives and to our way of consuming content. I think, in my opinion, it's only it's the content output layer, right? Before you create this content, you need to understand what the user wants. Where you're coming back to your question, you need other technologies to understand what the user wants. We build a massive data warehouse. We have a team of 24 people at OneFootball who are analyzing data on a constant basis, and they need to do this at scale to digest all of this data input. On top of that, without sharing too much secrets on the machine room, we build what we call recommendation engine, so a tool which can put in real-time content in front of the user and understand this is relevant to this cohort, this is relevant to this cohort, this is relevant. When we understand it, when we're able to put this content in front of the users, and then you put generative AI on top of it to create actually the output of the content, it all works together. That's what the magic does at scale. So I would say it's not one technology or the other, it's how you combine different technologies with smart human beings to bring a product to scale.
Okay. Well,
when it comes to TikTok and how we have empowered our users, our mass user community with AI powered tools, we introduced many to help any user, any person on the platform to actually enhance or unlock their creativity by using the tools to create different content or the content they've been wanting to create. We don't want AI generated content to be the only content on the platform. So that's why we have introduced these tools to help you create a piece of content, a video, a post, call it whatever you want, but those are tools to help you unlocking your creativity. And because we also believe in a safe community, we also believe that you need to be genuine and authentic. We introduced labels on the AI-generated videos on the platform. So whenever you're browsing or scrolling, in better words, whenever you're scrolling the feed, you will find some videos with labels of AI. This is just to tell the user that it's either totally generated by the AI tool of TikTok or was helped with that tool in a way to excite other users to find this tool, to create also content on the platform, and to differentiate what's real, what's human, and what's AI powered. Back to the users and enriching the first question about enriching their experience on my platform, we look into AI as part of our efforts to also enrich their experience and unlock their creativity.
Okay. And Soren, from an in-venue perspective, what are
Sure.
you utilizing there particularly?
At TAIT, we consider ourselves technology-enabled storytellers, and all of this technology, these AI agents by countless numbers that are enabling platforms like yours to learn more and more about the consumer and put together content and data in ways never done before. Our platform is a place that poses the question or supports the answer to how do we leverage this information in a way that maximizes a hyper-personalized guest experience in the venue, at the show, in the sporting event. One that we haven't talked about is augmented reality. I think augmented reality is a technology that we can see coming. It's here, but it's not yet democratic. It's not yet accessible. The gear that you need to hold or put on your face in order to see it today hasn't yet met our thresholds of reasonability, but it's coming. And so how do we leverage all the content and data that you're talking about putting together at home? The 99% of the audience that's watching there, they'll have a very sophisticated multi-screen environment where they can look at the stats of any player who's on camera. The camera will know who's on. All those stats will be there, and it'll be customized to that viewer. Augmented reality will allow the guest in the venue to experience a hyper-personalized scenario. Once they have those on, we now have 80,000 cameras in the room, in essence. So someone on a platform outside the venue can be their own TV director. And they've got not only the 18 cameras that we gave them as part of the IP holders infrastructure, but we gave them access to a huge number of consumer points of view that, just as you want at TikTok, that experience beyond the broadcast, we can participate in generating content that leaves the venue.
Okay. Just picking up on something, or did you want to say
Can I just
something
follow
else?
up on
Yeah,
that
please.
term? And if you may permit me, I will keep using this from now on. Technology-enabled storytelling.
Yeah.
I think that's a fantastic job for our
Every
businesses.
time you use that, you should send us a dollar.
Yeah, I will send you like a commission every time
okay.
I use it. But it's interesting because at LiveScore, probably for the previous 27 years, we weren't that. So we would tell you what happened in a football match. So you'd come in and we'd tell you, all the stats, the corners, the free kicks, and the goals, and all the stats that you can, imagine. But we never told the story. And what is now being asked from our users is, give me the story in the way I want to hear it. So what generative AI is now allowing us to do is, when a user comes in and is interested in a particular match, let's say they come in on the 17th minute, we immediately generate the story of what happened from minute 0 to 17,
Wow.
but based also on that user's engagement with our app. So the user can be a fantasy football player, so we'll give them those stats. Somebody may be more interested in expected goals. Someone may be a fan of Team A, so we give them that angle. And this is going to continue to improve as we learn more about that engagement. So we are now becoming storytellers as opposed to just, a static
That's very
display
cool.
of information.
Very cool.
Good. I just wanted to pick up on something that Sam mentioned before, which was about the return on investment for all this technology and content that we're pumping out and everything. So I guess the question is, how do we turn this everyday engagement into everyday revenue to make sure that our businesses are successful and continue to operate?
You sound like my shareholders.
Well, from our perspective, creating more opportunities, creating less friction for the guest experience at the game can quite organically create more opportunities for revenue and revenue generating engagement. This is a place where we can partner with any platform, with any brand to activate IP on site and create reasons to arrive early. The longer you're there, the more you spend. If friction is reduced and the guest is not stressed out about how do I get from here to my seat, how do I get from my seat to the washroom, how do I get a t-shirt for my daughter because I promised her I would. If all of those things can be made more frictionless, then I'm more relaxed and more apt to consume. Even making the transaction easier, a simple click. If we know that Sam is more likely than Dave to buy a t-shirt, then we can adjust wayfinding specifically with him in mind to make sure that anytime he goes anywhere, he's passing merchandise. So again, I think ours is a platform that is prepared to answer the question, how do we generate more revenue? We need partners like these, IP holding partners, data holding partners, to inform this platform to activate it in a way that actually generates more revenue.
I think I can speak on behalf of both Sam and Mo that for us it's very straightforward. Engagement is our business model, right? So for OneFootball, the average fan has 57 sessions per month, and per session you spend 2 minutes and 37 seconds per session. Every session is monetized, obviously, so the better we are in engaging the fans and quite frankly, more money we make out of that, or the more potential we have to make money, let's say it like this. It's then on us to say, do we want to overstress this potential, or where's the right balance? But engagement is the driver for our business, both on the advertising side of things and also on the direct-to-consumer side of things. Some of you might know that we also offer live matches to our users. In the UK, for example, people can watch Serie A matches on a pay-per-view basis without any subscription. So it's in the moment you want to see Inter Milan against AC Milan, you go on the app, you click twice, and you get the match live in front of the user. I believe this is a part, not the future, but this is a tiny part of the future on how you engage with football content.
If I can add to that and go back to what we mentioned earlier on new experiences for the fans on my platform, and we spoke about beyond the 90 minutes content that is not actually monetized in our world in a better way. We know all the media rights that are like millions of dollars for every IP, any league, any competition exists. But if we figure out that place where we can generate that revenue back to the IP owner, rights holder, or even the fans through the content that's beyond the 90 minutes or beyond the action highlights, we will still be true to the message that we're bringing more experiences that are beneficiary for all the three parties that we mentioned at the early moments of this panel. Plus, if we think of TikTok as a discovery platform, and this is where brands, this is where any partner can discover, let's call them the influencers, the creators who have become on my platform beyond creators. They become more of small business sort of owners or entrepreneurs. If I can bring those creators to the brands or to the partners like a league or a competition here or a film festival there, and they both bring a certain experience to the world on my platform, I'll be happy that I actually generated that revenue. And when we speak revenue, it's different from one entity to another. But when we speak revenue connected to the creators and the creator economy that I'm like harvesting on my platform, that's a totally connected point to the experience where the revenue starts for the fan or the creator and then moving on to the business.
I'm going to answer in a way that my shareholders hate every time I bring
Absolutely.
this up. Monetization is not a KPI. Our KPIs, similar to the gentleman on my right, are engagement and loyalty. That's the difficult part, to have our users, our fans, to come to our platform, to engage more and more with the content that we deliver to them, and to stay loyal, to our brands. My head of commercial is in the audience, and he probably also hates this answer, but it's a happy problem to solve if you've achieved the first KPIs, and then you address it with, all the monetization mechanics that are out there. Fans of all sports have their own ways of interacting with the content and delivering revenue to it. We don't have to invent all of those. And it's an indirect benefit of having received their loyalty in the long run.
See, if somebody is trying to sell me something I don't want or don't care for a lot right now, it's the biggest put off. But if somebody sells me, say I want this red jacket, when I want, it is the biggest delight. And I think beyond, you have a certain level of fandom and loyalty. Even within that, back to hyper-personalization, understanding that this fan cares right now for a merchandise, or this fan cares right now for a short-form article, or this fan cares right now for a go live with X athlete. If you're able to identify this, and this only large data and AI can do, even at your level, if you're able to identify which fan wants what when, and serve that, then you have got the wheel of monetization going. So the idea, of course, is to have that fandom and loyalty. But I feel what the money on the table that everyone is leaving who have direct consumer basis is not identifying what exactly needs to be served to what right now, which, by the way, is the biggest problem Zuckerberg is solving now. He says that in 1.5 years, every person, the ad they see will be generated on the spot just for me, for the thing that I am watching. So Zuckerberg is solving that, Meta is solving that, but it is beginning to become a technology that's more accessible. So I guess most leagues or B2C companies need to start doing that. At the moment, figure out what exactly this person wants, and not just in terms of content, but also in terms of commerce, serve that right then. So I think that will get the wheel rolling.
Okay. Well, we're getting towards the sort of last 5 minutes of the session, so I'll ask one more question. If anybody can share an example of an everyday engagement activation that has significantly changed fan behavior or loyalty, is there something that you've done within your business that was something that really moved the dial for you in terms of the fan engagement that you have?
I can give you the best example, and I'm lucky today I have one of my colleagues here sitting, and we did something for TikTok to give back to the fans, and we called it TikTok Zone. And for that TikTok Zone, it's a simple concept, but it actually talks to the fans, to the creators, and creates the experience that I, as a football fan myself, would have wanted to have. So think of TikTok Zone that we created as an on-pitch, non-intrusive to any broadcaster's rights, placement that's connected with the fans, with the players on the pitch, before and after the match, and with content that's not about the match itself. A physical sort of placement on the pitch, creators broadcasting live commentary, transmitting that moment, that feeling of watching the match closer from the stands, and then interacting with the fans during the match or in the break time or after the match, going to the players afterwards, meeting their superstars, and imagine all of what I said in terms of content generated from those moments. Imagine yourself as a fanatic football fan watching your favorite team on TV or on the stands, and then you come and find TikTok bringing you on the pitch and closer to your favorite club or to your favorite player, and also distributing that brilliant content to excite more people to come to the stadium, for example, to come and experience this unique activation. Maybe they will become the next commentator, the next big famous creator. And imagine all the amount of content that you're getting on TikTok Live or on short form, while you're also promoting the IP, which is the league itself or the football match itself. And you're meeting your legends or your superstars and your favorite players. That's what we innovated in football recently. And again, thanks to the lady sitting here, Naba, who started this idea. And from there on, we try to innovate based on each partner's need, on each fan experience that we would have wanted if we were on the other side of the business.
Just to add to that, we are launching 2 features per week, so I cannot pick up one. My product team would be very mad with me. Something which relates to the audience here and to the place where we are. We recently added Arabic as the 13th language to our portfolio of languages. Before we covered the product in 12 languages, now we have 13. That was more complicated than you think because the direction of the text is different. That changed the entire product quite dramatically, which was heavy lifting. The outcome of that is great. I was on a taxi yesterday when I came to Riyadh, and I asked the driver about, is he a football fan? He said yes, and then the second question was, what app are you using? And then he took out the phone and he showed OneFootball, and he said, I just got this a few weeks ago, and it's now in Arabic, and he said, it's a great product, great product. I didn't tell him that I work for the company, and then he pointed the finger to another app. I don't want to mention it. It's not here on the stage. So and he said, no, that's not so good, but you are good. So I think that was if you want so, especially for this area, a game-changing initiative by adding the language and make it more customizable for the audience.
Yeah. I can use a feature that's currently in beta testing with 500,000 users, which has had tremendous impact. And that's a collaboration that we have with X globally, where we're measuring real-time sentiments that's happening on the X platform around particular matches and delivering that, again, in a storytelling way to our users in real time. So trying to go way beyond like the stats and scores that they're getting, and giving them a structured view on what the fan sentiment is occurring on the X platform, which is really where the real-time engagement and conversations are happening. And that's changing quite radically the behaviors of LiveScore users, and we'll hopefully roll that out to the rest of the world in January.
Again, pretty much the same that Sam and Tom covered, so nothing much new there for me. You go ahead.
Yeah. Look, when it comes to moving the needle with fan engagement, all of us, we're just amplifiers, right? The fan engagement that we depend on comes from the goosebumps that the fans get from the game, right? The goosebumps, the loss that makes people behave as if there was a death in the family, the electricity in the room when we all get together and feel the love of sport, the love of engagement, the love of competition. We're just magnifying glasses or platforms for that. And so what moves the needle is the same thing that moves the human heart, And I believe that that's our job. That's the job of the platform. Any success that isn't driven by that is a flash in the pan, here today, gone tomorrow, not compelling.
Good. All right, I just want to say thank you so much to our fantastic panel, to Mo, to Tom, to Sam, to Richa, and to Soren. Amazing insights. Just a few closing thoughts from me. So fans now expect participation, not passive content. Interactivity is becoming a daily habit, not a match day moment. Brands that activate value, community, utility, not just impressions, will be the brands that win. And the future is about making fandom a lifestyle, not an event. Thank you all for joining us, and enjoy the rest of the summit.